Hello everyone and welcome to yet another live coding and chill. I'm your host Johnny, delighted to be here. I hope you're having a great Sunday, an amazing weekend, and indeed a wonderful life. Let me know what you're up to. Let me know what you're working with. Let me know if you're having fun with coding or anything else this lovely Sunday. Today we'll keep working on our DrawMon Pokémon drawing app and finishing up the essential operations that you need as a software engineer. We'll be doing the delete operations. We've been covering what is known as CRUD, not the best acronym, but it is what it is. We can create records, we can read records, we can update records, and now we're gonna delete them. But with a twist, we're gonna be soft deleting them because sometimes people make mistakes, sometimes they have second thoughts and they want to undo their deletion and you want to retrieve that record, and we're gonna show how we can do that. Let me demo the app. You can find this on drawmon.app. There are links in the description. Everything is free. You can play a game. You can play the classic Who's That Pokemon game, and you can have a look and be like, I don't know, this looks like a Bumblebee type of situation. Must be grass type, bug type, of course. Yeah, Bumblebee, Volbeat, of course. Not even a later generation, so I can't even claim that that's why I didn't find out they're them. Oh, this is Pichu. Even I know this one. There you go. You can keep re-rolling. If you're just looking for draw inspiration, you can immediately go to the drawing page and you can have a few re-rolls and see which one do you like. You can even go like straight with the first one that you see. Up to you. You make your own rules. And if you actually draw it, you can click this button to confirm that you have indeed drawn this Pokemon. You can also leave notes. But that is optional as well. There is a toast notification that shows up. That is blocked by my name. But hey, let's show off the mobile view as well. I drew this. Plunk. Notification goes out. Hi. But now that I've submitted many forms, I've told the app that I've drawn this Pokemon too many times. So I actually just want the one. So I want to delete the record. Well, I want to delete 3 of these 4 records and only keep the one. I think the spirit of the app is not that if you did 4 drawings of Go-Goat on the same day, you'd be tracking all of them. So I think we will have some cleanup to do. Hello, Farangelo. Nice to see you today. Hope you're doing well as well. I have an accessibility corner in the agenda using Playwright that I think you may like. Yeah, in the local app, I have even more drawings to clean up. So we have a lot of things to do. Maybe a quick stream though, because we'll be fast about it. And the key thing that we'll do today is not just enable the deletion functionality, but also undo. I didn't mean to delete this drawing, I wanted to delete another one, so bring it back. And then, if you do have many soft deleted records, when do you ever clean them up? We'll likely have the time to build a cron job that will be running on a schedule to clean up everyone's long deleted Pokemon. So this is it for the agenda. I'll have a new style to track the timestamps for this stream. I'll explain why in the future. About 4 minutes of preamble this time. Pretty good by my standards. We are gonna move on to soft deleting records. We're gonna be doing code. So let's go. In this page, which is the drawings page, we're using SvelteKit Remote Functions for this, which is also a big thing. They're still experimental, but I find them stable in many things, stable enough. So we have the drawings table. Of course, you know, I'm the person that was running SvelteKit even when it was a private repo that no one could see, and no one could find the docs, and you needed to go like to the GitHub. Anyway, that's a long story. Hello, Mikey. It's been a while since you've made a stream live. You made it today. Cause for celebration. Thank you so much for coming. And even when you don't make it live, of course, I appreciate your support. I know you're watching. So we have this drawings table. We have a few cells with the essential stats. Really, we want another cell in the end to be all the actions. So that's where you'd put like the edit operation and the delete operation as well. We are using remote functions for queries all over the place already. So maybe let's go over this quite quickly. You'll notice that we're fetching the list. It's a get operation of all the drawings that this user, me, the logged in user, has done. And you can see we are achieving this by a regular await in our Svelte component here. We're saying that the drawings table is getting drawings by awaiting the get all drawings for user function. And this is key because up to now with SvelteKit, you needed to do like some weird things. You'd needed to probably say, all right, that my drawings table expects like a promise that resolves into many drawings here. And then you'd need like some custom hashtag await blocks, idiomatic to Svelte and stuff. And no one wants to do this. People just want to write HTML looking stuff and JavaScript looking stuff. Hello, Sam. Great to see you. And that's where remote functions come in. So if we look at this one, we're using the query remote function. It doesn't take any parameters because the user is logged in. We have their user ID in their session. So I'm still doing my poor man's dependency injection thing to have a drawings repo in the local. This is the thing that can talk to the database. If you don't have a session somehow, which you shouldn't because the only place where we're using the get all drawings for user page is here, but this method doesn't know where it's called, so might as well handle the case where we don't have a session, we don't have a user. If they have a session, then we're talking to our database to say get all the drawings by user, giving it the logged in user's user ID. And we have like some drizzle code that creates some SQL talking to our Cloudflare D1 database and returns this. Sam asks, what is the best way to explain a promise? Is there a link for that? I would just look up JavaScript promise and promises in JavaScript. There is a lot of context there. Before promises, we're using callback, so a method would be taking another method that would tell it, after you're done, I want you to do this. With promises, it's a bit of a better looking API as you do your code, where you can choose to either run this method that returns a promise and forget about it, or await for that promise to be resolved. So this method is promising us that we're gonna get an array of all the drawings for the user, and if I wait long enough, then that's what this component is gonna get. Just an array of all the drawings with Pokémon. We don't want this to be a blocking operation, usually, especially in single-threaded code. When promises are not implemented, you'd need to be blocking the thread to say, okay, I'm gonna stay here until you fetch all the drawings from the database, but that would take ages. You cannot freeze the app until that resolves. That would be super bad UX. And essentially, awaiting is a clever way for JavaScript to keep track of, I'm gonna keep doing things to keep the app running in the main event loop. But come back to that eventually, and once this has been resolved, then I'm gonna do the rest of the things that the related code that is awaiting for this to resolve does. This is not the best way to understand promises because there is a lot of SvelteKit magic that is happening. For example, SvelteKit magic is saying, all right, so what do I do while I wait this? The rest of the app continues normally, but everything that's inside the Svelte boundary, until the promise is resolved, I'm gonna be showing this pending UI, which is just a skeleton that I've designed. You can see it if I put another one up here. If you want to see how it looks like this. I think it looks quite neat. What if the promise is a failed promise, a broken promise, like in a failed marriage? What happens then? Well, then SvelteKit says I'm gonna run this method that says if there has been a failed promise, I'm gonna run this, I'm gonna give you the error that happened and a way to reset the state so you can get your app running again. And I'm gonna show this UI, whatever you put in here. But if everything goes as planned, then I'm gonna actually render the thing that has been awaiting for the promise to resolve. So I'll put in my notes to make a better what is promise plan, because this was off the cuff, this explanation of promises in the context of JavaScript. I suggest looking it up. Until then, I'll have a better one for next time. Hopefully this was good enough. Right, so this was the CRUD remote function. We've used the form remote function, which is the one you want to use when you're doing mutations. So a query is you just get data, you do not mutate it. When you use the form SvelteKit remote function, you're supposed to do mutations. You're supposed to do things like, oh, I drew this Pokémon. So whenever we're in the random page and we want to say, yeah, I did draw this, we're submitting a form, we're using the SvelteKit form remote function to persist the database that this Pokémon has indeed been drawn. And then when I go back to the drawings page, you'll see that this one is at the top, the one I just clicked. And I do like keeping the SvelteKit remote functions that are related in the same domain in the same file. The thing to signal to SvelteKit that this is a special thing, this is a remote function, this is a function that you can run with a wait and then it's going to do all this magic with the pending and the failed snippets, is that you need to name this file .remote.ts or .cs if you want to shoot yourself in the foot and use JavaScript. This is the SvelteKit form action for tracking the Pokemon drawing. It looks very much the same as the query one. You can get stuff from the request event. So fish stuff out from the locals, which is where I do my poor man's dependency injection to abstract away what does the drawings repo actually does. So some people just put the database in there and they do database operations there. I like doing this because maybe I'm going to switch databases. Maybe I'm going to use the key value store, not a database. Maybe I'm going to keep things in memory. And also I want to compartmentalize my code. So get all drawings by user. It's like a lot of drizzle code to create the final SQL that goes into D1. I don't really want to do this and see this in the remote function. Probably not the remote function's concern. The remote function, this one, is just concerned with, I want to persist this drawing and that's it, just return success. You could even be returning the Pokemon ID that you created or whatever else, but we didn't need it in this case. And for the listen, we're gonna do something very similar. Again, we're gonna do a mutation, we're gonna mutate the data, we're gonna have fewer records than before because we're gonna delete one. So we're gonna use the form SvelteKit remote function to achieve this, but instead of adding a record to the database, we're gonna be deleting one, or really we're gonna be updating it because we're gonna do soft deletion. And with that, let's do some UI. In a drawings table, let's say that we'll add accents here. And all we want for now for that cell, the autocomplete is trying. That's kind of what we want. Yeah, let's do like hard deletion and then let's make a pop-up afterwards. Or maybe not. So we just want the one action. We're gonna say like delete. The variant is gonna be either destructive. It's not gonna be size icon. No ARIA labels. So as always, like the autocomplete is adding stuff that I'm currently deleting. Did it save me time? It brought in the button from the right place, I suppose. So that's something. So we're gonna make this look kinda nicer. And let's have a look at the iconify design to pick up a delete icon. Classic trash can icon. This one is kinda cuter. Great. I think this has been fun. I always have it playing for the background for the music, really. But now it's getting a bit in the way, literally. Components, unplugging icons, what we're using. Copy this. Paste it here. Call it delete icon. And just put it in there. Autocomplete win. Good. But it did delete the my delete thing. Oh, well. All right. So we have this delete button here, but it does nothing. It's gonna be doing something very soon. To do something, we need to create the new, well, we need to first put it in a form too. Because we're going to be creating another form, SvelteKit Remote Function. Let's say delete Pokémon DrawMon. I think we should figure out the user ID there. It's gonna be an async person. Much like the track Pokemon drawing thing, it is gonna need a schema. We're gonna be submitting the Pokemon drawing that we want to delete. So let's call it delete drawing. Just delete drawing. So delete drawing makes more sense actually, like because we could be deleting a drawing that's not related to a Pokemon. It needs to be taken the ID of the drawing, which is just a string. Let's look at our schema in the database actually. It's a UUID, which Zod does have a helper for. And it is a VV4 ID. We could even do that. And that's it. We're not gonna need anything else. And by giving the schema here as the first parameter of the form, then it's gonna magically know that the second method can have an ID that's gonna be a unique ID or a string. And with that information, we do want to do the same stuff as here. Like check if we are already logged in. If we're not, we cannot delete anything. And we'll send back an unauthorized. But if we are, we're gonna wait the drawings repo, the delete drawn by ID that we haven't made yet. And as a safety, just to ensure that people cannot delete other people's drawings. So Mikey has a great question that I've mentioned last time. How will Superform adjust to remote functions? It's going to be a big thing. Already, Cisco Hit, the great guy from React Superforms, was already working on a big v3 rewrite for the excellent library, Svelte Superforms, to account for Svelte runes, so Svelte 5 with runes. But now needs to also account for Svelte remote functions. There are quite a few of open issues about it, and it's looking like it's gonna use the command remote function that we're not gonna use today because it's too complicated for what we want to do. We just want to submit forms easily. And we'll see how we'll manage to tackle the undo function out there. Hello, Nikita, how are you doing? So, I think the contract for deleting the drawing to make sure that a user cannot delete another user's drawing is to need to send the user ID here and the ID of the drawing. And we only attempt to delete the one if it's for that user. Great. So underline here because this thing does not exist. Should we say anything? Not really. Let's prove that. Deleting drawing with ID, blah, blah, blah. This, let's comment it out as well. To show, all right, we've created this form. It only does some login. How do we use it? And we can see from the excellent SvelteKit docs that we can have our form remote function. In order to use it, we need to spread its parameters in a form and then have a way to submit it. For us, it's just going to be the button. And there is going to be one more thing that may catch you out that we're going to resolve. So supposedly all we need to do is delete drawing. What did we call it? Yeah, we did call it delete drawing. Come on, autocomplete, you can do it. Yeah. You do not call this with any parameters, interestingly enough. You do not call it with anything. So then you're like, how do I give it the ID? Well, it's a form, so you could have a hidden input with the drawing ID here. If you were not cool enough, cool people put the value in the button that submits the form if it's just gonna be just one thing. So we can say ID value drawing ID. This, I guess, makes it so we lose some of the kind of nice features that the remote function can create and populate fields for us here. But we don't want that. We just want this button, just delete this this drawing, and that's it. This spreading, what it does, we're gonna inspect again here, is add the necessary parameters to the form. If you're doing regular forms outside of Svelte, and you're doing it in the HTML way, you'll know that its form that should be doing mutations has a method post. It's a post form. Posts are for mutations. Queries are get methods, HTTP methods, and an action. The action tells it, all right, which backend should I hit to submit this form to? Where should I put the information? And the handy spreading here of the object is spreading that information, including this hash that I would never be able to type out by myself. This hash gets automatically generated to SvelteKit to kind of version control, I guess, what the delete drawing actually does. It's quite clever, too clever for me, or exactly as clever to too clever for me to write myself and code myself, but exactly the amount of clever that I want in my app, something to be done for me. So similarly to how this spreading is adding some parameters to the form, these helpers where you can say, oh, spread the ID field or spread the content field or whatever here, would be spreading the correct names and values and inputs and whatnot to the inputs and text areas that you may have in your form. Right, so in theory, this is all we need to just submit this. But if we go to the backend, well, it does submit. That's good. But then you see that we have a problem if we actually were getting to this page in a different way. And the problem is that the form that you use as SvelteKit Remote Function form in must be unique. So if you have multiple forms that are trying to do the exact same thing, SvelteKit crashes, because how would it know that you are submitting for row number 1 or number 2 or number 3? It won't know. But now it can. There is a way to make this distinct. I think it's called the for parameter. So if you want them to be namespaced, I suppose, you use the .for method, and you can give this anything. It could even be the index, but maybe like you're resorting the rows. Maybe you want the oldest Pokemon and you want to delete those or something like that. So I would advise against using the index for this. But the drawing ID makes sense. And the moment we do that, SvelteKit is like, all right, I understand what exactly I need to do to submit each of these forms, and they have separate loading states and all of that. And you can see that it added like a few extra parameters here into the action, which I suspect behind the scenes it's using to understand, oh, I'm using this for 1, using this for form number 2, and whatnot. So now when we press the button, this works as expected without clashing with the other ones. I suppose before it worked because I was already on the page and SvelteKit hadn't realized that this has crashed. But it would have caused problems in regards to how do I know whether this form is loading or not. So let's say that we want like a loading icon. I'm just trying to see if we have, we just do it disabled, I suppose. So let's look at the UI. Let's say that this, if it's disabled, it looks like this. And I want it to only be disabled when the delete drawing remote function has a pending thing. And if it's pending, I want this button to be disabled. And you can see that it's so fast because it's running locally and it's not actually doing a database operation here, that it's not going to show. But if I do like a delay, like 2 seconds, this should show. Yeah, it's kind of deleted, maybe not. Am I making it up? Oh yeah, this is way darker, so it must be something else. Do I need to namespace the for again? Yeah. Okay, so that makes sense. So you can see that's why you need the for parameter for SvelteKit to know, okay, which one of these are you actually waiting for. And then you can see 2 seconds afterwards, it pops back up. So Mikey says, you've been using hidden inputs for years. Yeah, it's like the most common thing you'll see. I use hidden inputs as well, but there is few things I like more than using the button itself as an input. I also use it for the login form here, where the button itself is saying, oh, I'm the Google provider login or the GitHub provider login, instead of having a hidden input with this. Why have more elements when you can use fewer? So I like using the button itself like this. It's neat. Like you saw this on the interview and they're like, oh wow, this guy knows what they're up to. Cool. So we're console logging what we want to delete. Let's actually delete it. But for that, we need to do a few more things related to my poor man's dependency injection. We have a drawings repo interface And let's say that we want delete drawing by ID. Delete user drawing by ID. Yeah, makes more sense. And let's say it's taken, maybe it's just user ID. User ID string and ID string, and returns nothing, which is all that's left after we've called this method. And if a method takes one parameter, then I definitely do not use an object. If it takes two parameters, then if it takes three or more parameters, definitely I use an object to pass the parameters in. If it's using more than that, if it's using two, that's borderline. So if it's one, no object. If it's three or more, definitely pass an object. If it's two, not sure. We're going to do two parameters for this one. Right, so we need to implement this into our DB drawings repo. So let's say delete drawings by ID. Great, it takes the user ID in this, and then we just await indeed this database, delete this where two things are correct. This and that are true. The drawings ID is this, and the user ID is this. So if you try to delete someone else's, you're not gonna get it. You're not gonna hack us today. And here, of course, that's not the ID. That takes data. That takes all the form data, and inside it is the ID that we want. Great. TypeScript catches my error. So, in theory, when I click this Haunter button, it's gonna delete and automatically refresh the list for me. Is it gonna work? Yes, no. Vote. If you said yes, you were correct. Awesome. So yeah, we can go crazy deleting stuff now. But then if we go too crazy and we're like, wait a minute, I didn't mean to delete this. What are you doing? Especially if it's this sort of person where we're not popping a dialogue saying, are you sure you want to delete this drawing? It's quite cruel to just delete this immediately. Without the ability to undo this action. If this were a video game, at the very least, it would have you hold the button for a few seconds before you actually do it. Because sometimes you misclick, you just slip. Right, so deletion accomplished. Maybe we want to do like an extra section here. So let's say promises, talk, which was actually around here. Let's say that we went about here for this. And let's say softDelete as our next step. Because we took our sweet time getting here. As always, no need to rush. This is live coding until it's not sweat hard and to work. Right, so this is if I've tried Cloudflare containers, not yet. I will be trying more Cloudflare stuff. I think the next one I'd want to try is a Cloudflare auto RAG, because it's related to what everyone wants to do. Everyone wants a startup that's like, oh, we're making RAG with your data, retrieval, augmented generation with your data. I think it's the new, we wrapped ChatGPT to do this thing. And Cloudflare has this apparently cool feature where you can put all your data in a bucket. Like, here's the Pokemon database that we have. Put it in a bucket and automatically get it indexed, so you can run semantic questions like, what's the strongest fourth generation Pokemon? And then it may be able to answer it in a kind of neat way. Anyway, that's one of the things that I want to try. Their vectorized database and their autorag, like whatever they call the solution now. But to answer your question, which I did, I guess, I haven't tried Cloudflare containers. We are using Cloudflare for this app already, so that example is one of the directions for the next streams, for sure, that I've been thinking about. Cool, so let's update this. So we've mentioned the use case. People are here, they're clicking delete. Immediately our app is so responsive, it deletes the record. And then they're like, wait a minute, I didn't mean to delete this. I wanted to delete the other one. I didn't want to delete anything. I just wanted to click buttons. Buttons are nice. And they're red. You can't help but click them. So a way to do that is to have a soft delete functionality. We've talked about this when we were designing the schema. There are a couple of ways to do this. Older CRMs were doing this, like Ruby on Rails, I think. They'd advise for having an isDeleted Boolean column. Boolean is like true false. Is deleted true false. And when you are fetching data, you'd only fetch the ones that are not deleted. And if a user tells you, I want to delete this, what you'd actually be doing is changing the record to say that, oh, it's deleted, but don't actually delete it from the database. Because if you drop it from the database, there is no easy way to get it back. You'd have to restore the whole database or look at your backups or whatever. No one wants to do this, too hard. Engineers are the best engineers are lazy, so we'd never do that. And if you want to do undo functionality, or if you want to have a page in your app that has all the ones that you've deleted, but they were actually soft deleted, you can see it. And if you're like, restore this one, then the engineer can go back to the database and say, is deleted false, back to normal. Cool. What we're doing is even cooler. We have a deleted at timestamp where we're gonna be recording when the user has attempted to delete the record, in order to, again, have the same benefit of, if they want to undo, we can easily go here and remove the timestamp. Therefore, if something doesn't have a deleted at timestamp, it's not deleted, they should see it. But also, still have the screen where you can see like your recently deleted items, and you can even order them by the ones that you deleted more recently, which you couldn't do with the isDeleted column. But also, you can have a cleanup operation because you don't want all the deleted or the soft deleted rows from all your users in your database. Like that's just unnecessary data to have. And then you can do something like, check for records that have been deleted for longer than 1 week or 1 day or 1 month. 1 month is the most common one. And if that's true, then just actually delete, really for real delete, remove them from the database there. And that's what we're gonna show today. SvelteKit is very promising CMS, written in Svelte. I'll need to have a look. Speaking of that, speaking of CMSs and that sort of thing, SvelteKit. I need more notes. I did write about the promise one. I'll write about SvelteKit in just a moment. But yeah, let's do the drawings thing. The not actually delete the drawings. So if we look at our implementation, we're saying from the drawings table, delete where this is true, but we don't want to really delete. We actually want to update. We want to update something from in the drawings table where the drawing ID is this and the user ID is this. Great. But what we actually want to do is to set the deleted at to the current date now. And we don't even specify this. I guess we do, because the default is null. Great. So yeah, we want to set that the user has just now deleted this And everything we've done here, don't need to do anything. So all we've done is now it's an update operation. Remember CRUD, create, read, update, delete. Instead of actually delete, we're doing update. So we're gonna be doing an update operation. Maybe we're gonna call this softDelete user drawing by ID to make it clearer. Great. And now, if I press to remove, delete this wingle, will they disappear from this list? Time to vote again. Think in your heads, is it going to disappear or not? Well, this time it doesn't depend on whether we've done this correctly, because we have. It depends on whether we've pre-accounted for this when we were writing the get all drawings by user method. If you were here from the last time, you'll remember that all we've done is get me all the drawings where the drawings by user ID is equal to the current user ID that I gave you. We haven't been checking for whether they're soft deleted or not, which means that I press delete here and it doesn't disappear. I promise you that this has added a timestamp to the soft deleted one, but it is not affecting what I'm fetching for this user. But that means all we need to do is add another end here and say that deleted at should be true. Null. Maybe they have like an equals null here in Drizzle. Null is null. There you go. Is null this column? Great, they have a helper method for this. Again, the autocomplete is like, let me help you. So now, if I refetch the page, the wingle should disappear because it was soft deleted. And now, when I delete this Primarina, poor Primarina, is she gonna disappear? Yes or no? Click, will she disappear? The answer is yes. Click, disappear, because when you submit the form, SvelteKit knows by default to refetch things in this page. We are doing get all drawings by user, and we have fixed this to correctly check to correctly get the drawings for this user that are not with a deleted at column that actually has a date that is not null. So hopefully this makes sense. This is pretty much it for let's soft delete this. It's still in our database. Clearly we can still see it somewhere, because if we don't have this operation, then we're gonna get back our soft deleted ones. Or if we use the is not null actually, then we're gonna see the soft deleted ones. But how will we do the recover functionality now, the undo functionality? We're gonna do this in the next chapter. Let's see some messages from Mikey again. Remote functions promise driven. Are we able to do atomic queries with remote functions? Can't I separate a table that reply to each other? So I think you're talking about transactions. It's not related to SvelteKit remote functions. As we've seen before, that's why I like my poor man's dependency injection here. As far as the remote function is concerned, we're just getting the drawings repo from the locals, and we're calling softDelete user by drawing ID. Whether this is talking to a database that is doing atomic operations, is it doing transactions, is it doing whatever, the SvelteKit remote function doesn't care, doesn't need to care. It's just calling this, and this can do whatever. So your answer is, can we do atomic operations with remote functions? Yes, remote functions doesn't even see what's happening in there. Now, for this specific app, as we've seen, we're working with Cloudflare D1 with Drizzle, which has a bug and an issue that I'm subscribed to, where you cannot really do transactions. So for this operation, we wouldn't need it, but we're not doing transactions here. We do not do atomic transactions in this app because we're using the Drizzle ORM over Cloudflare D1, and their adapter has a bug or doesn't support transactions correctly. But we don't need this for this app. It's more important for apps that have to do with like finance and banking stuff. You do an atomic operation where you'd be like, even on a video game, that, oh, this user wants to purchase one hat, and you would add a record. This user has this item, this hat record in his items table, whatever, items to user table. And also you'd need to subtract from the user's balance. But you try to subtract from the user's balance and you'd see that, oh, the user's balance is actually minus 50 now because they were also doing another operation in a different window or whatever. So now you need to cancel the acquisition of the item for this user. And in a transaction, that's exactly what happens. You guarantee that anything you've done in the transaction, if at some point in the transaction you abort it, nothing has happened. So even if you wrote this row to a different table, even if you mutated this other record in a table, if you abort the transaction, it's not going to be committed. But we are not doing anything of the sort here, even though we are joining multiple tables. All we're doing is removing this drawing from this user. We don't need to do, like, this is an atomic operation by itself because it's only affecting one table, one row. So we don't need it. If we did do it, Cloudflare itself does have an API where you can do transactions, but then you need to give up Drizzle for that operation. You need to write it manually, which is not the end of the world, but if we wanted to do it, we would. Again, all of this doesn't have anything to do with SvelteKit Remote Functions. As far as SvelteKit Remote Function is concerned, you just call a method here, and whatever happens behind the scenes happens. If we wanted to take the trouble to make this transaction, we could. All right, so done. Been updating this one. Let's do the undo. That's the fun bit. So, as we've seen, we've deleted this toddler. Maybe we should show like a toast notification or something. We will. And we also delete another hunter, but we're like, no, this hunter needed to survive. We're going crazy with these things, with these records. I guess we're going so crazy that we'll need like a separate screen to recover them. Anyway, that's by the by. Let's show a toast notification in order to be able to click the button to undo this operation and undelete a record. So let's take a moment to think about how we do this. Hint, it's very similar to what we've done so far. So we needed to create a remote function about deleting the drawing. We needed to amend our interface. So for our drawings repo to be able to support recovering a drawing, deleting a drawing in that instance. And we needed to actually implement into our database repo to actually delete the drawing by soft deletion. And then, I guess that's kinda of the thing with remote function doesn't care. This is why I've called this remote function delete drawing and not soft delete drawing, because as far as the user is concerned, they don't care whether you're soft deleting or hard deleting or whatever you're doing. They just care, delete this drawing or recover, undo this. They don't need to know the specific terms. As the user is concerned, it's obfuscated what happens behind the scenes. Much like in the remote function, what actually happens in drawings repo doesn't really matter. I just want you to do this. Just want you to do this in a way that's recoverable. The user doesn't even need to know whether it's recoverable or not. It's just magic. So it doesn't really matter. Right. So can you guess the plan? The plan is the same. We'll have a form somewhere that we'll put as the last step this time. And let's do it the other way around. So let's say our drawings repo interface is going to have recover user drawing by ID. So again, only the user whose drawing it belongs to should be able to undelete a drawing, no one else, no hacker. You don't need to get anything back. Our DB drawings repo will need to implement this. So let's copy this, make it recover, and set the deleted at null. As we know, here in this page, we're showing everything that's that does not have a not deleted at date. This is like a tongue twister, writing and also explaining what I'm doing. Hopefully, I'm not butchering it. But yeah, this is pretty much it. Then we can create a undelete drawing, recover drawing method here. And we could reuse the same schema as well. Delete or recover. Yeah, why not? So yeah, let's copy all of this. Recover drawing. Is this bad? Maybe it's bad. Maybe it's too lazy. Sometimes things are too lazy. I'm trying to think what is more or less confusing. Like, why do you have the same schema? I will stay with the same schema, delete or recover drawing. Sometimes things having a single purpose is better. So for example, I'm not calling this like toggle drawing, which would be a way to do it, where you'd be checking if it has a deleted at, then make it not deleted, make it null. If it doesn't, then add a date, but that's like too confusing. I do like this to be specific, but just as old schema, no one likes schemas. It kind of makes sense. It's the same thing. So I'll go for that one. Again, from the locals, we fish out the drawings repo and the session to check, is the user actually authorized to do this? And we want to say recover user drawing by ID here. And that's it. Now, where do we put this? That's a good question. We're using SvelteSonner for toast notifications. I'm running out of drawings to delete. So we need to show a toast notification for the user to be able to click to undo. How does that work? Well, you can specify when we spread the form, the remote function in the form, it also adds this enhanced functionality where if you have JavaScript enabled, then SvelteKit does some cool stuff for you. If we use the enhance method, we can essentially provide a callback that allows us to do even more things, such as show a toast. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to say for this toast also enhance, override what SvelteKit does by default for us every time we submit the form. Too many dots. And not enough curlies. Okay, just enough curlies. This is what happens by default in an enhance action. That what SvelteKit does by default if you don't specify the enhance thing. It's gonna submit the form and then it's gonna reset it. Resetting it doesn't matter for this one because we don't have any real values, but might as well not reset it. Can we retrieve back the value here? So that's a thing with super forms that's handier to do. Here you can, I'd say just don't reset the value and then you have the data back. So you have the data that you just submitted there. If you want to keep track of your original data, that's trickier to do. So for example, in the user profile, I pre-populate this with my name, and unlike super forms where you can say this is how it starts, and you also have handlers for is this input dirty, has it been manipulated with. SvelteKit Remote Functions does not currently have these nice to have methods, so you need to do this by yourself. And you can see that I need to say, oh, this is like the easy dirty, like does it have changes calculation that we can do here, and the user's name, I have it in the page, it gets given in this component. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. The short answer is you have to do the code yourself. You can have it, but you have to do the code yourself. SvelteKit Remote Functions doesn't have a way to populate initial values in the form. I've actually submitted a discussion comment about this, that, oh, I would love it if I can do like form drawing initial values here. And then it's like, oh, the username is this, or whatever. Well, is this possible? I don't know. I guess it depends if Rich likes it or not. Anyway, that's by the by. We just want to submit. We won't care about the data, we don't care about the form, and we want to show a toast notification. We're using Svelte Sonar here. Let me show that project as well. Svelte Sonar render toast. Oh my god, it's so white. So bring this in. We want a success toast here. We want to say what's the face with the outline called? It's one of the new emojis. Dotted. Yeah. And toast error could not, let's say, could not delete your drawing. Try again. All right, so to prove that it works, let's force an error to happen. So when we delete the drawing, let's say error. Server is on fire. So now if you go to the drawings and press delete, we won't be able to delete the drawing. You can see this. Great. But if it goes exactly how we want it, then we're gonna see a success notification. Drawing deleted. Did it appear twice? No, it's just seeing things. All right, so keep deleting things, too many things. But this is where we want an action. This is where we want the undo button to appear. But this is becoming like too big. So let's extract it into its own component. Delete drawing form with Svelte. So we have the drawings table, delete drawing form, all we want is this. here. And all we want is just a drawing ID, I guess. Should we just get the drawing? Should we get the whole drawing? Let's just say drawing ID. Just a string. Let's call it ID. Let's call it drawing ID. Make it more clear. And we don't need format any dates. We don't want any of this. We don't want any of this. All we want is the drawing ID here. For drawing ID. Can you do it? Yes. All right. And now the real thing. And for the error, we want a callback. We want something that when the user clicks, then we recover the drawing, right? And there is a way here, surely. To have a button, you can click there. Action. There you go. Just you can specify an action. You can label it whatever you want, and then if you click it, something happens. So we can do maybe not an error toast, just a regular toast. That's an action toast, right? Maybe can we still? That's an action here. Yes. Okay. Label undo classic. On click. What do we do? It's like it's calling the internal API, which I guess like the remote functions is what they're doing. Like SvelteKit for you. When you create a .remote function, it knows to create an internal API endpoint that only your own app can call. But interestingly, like we won't be able to call this method outside of a form, can we? Should we have this not in a form? Maybe not. Let's see. Is this the place where we need to use command? Oh, wow. Yes, I think so. There you go. So we won't have a form to submit here. It's just too hard to make like the toast actually have a form inside the undo button. You can do it, but I think it's like too much work. And we've talked about developers being lazy. So let's use command. Another. We're gonna be hitting them all today. Let's double check. It's the same thing, and then it returns optionally, like not much. Not much is different. Actually, a good example is undo thing for this. So instead of all this auto-completed AI slop, all we want is to await that command, recover drawing. No for this. Give it a no submit. Stop making things up. And that should be it. There you go. Like immediately I was thinking about, do we need a bespoke thing or whatever? And I guess we do. maybe we could just say that. So this is the delete drawing schema. Great. It's a form, so it needs to be an object. And this is going to be the recover drawing schema. But it's not going to be an object. It's just going to be a UUID, a unique ID before. And then we're going to use that. And then we won't need to destructure this. We'll just take the ID and then delete drawing form. We can just do this and just say drawing recovered. All right, so, and you can specify how long you want its toes to appear. Let's look at the options if it has like the default. What is the default? Duration. No one will tell me the default duration. Oh well. Delete the cute drawing, but here didn't quite work. We shouldn't have deleted the cute drawing, unfortunately. Maybe because we use the helper for the success one. I guess the success one cannot actually get the action. It's unfortunate. Let's see. Am I in the correct place? Yeah, this is not reappearing. How come? Yeah, I must be doing something wrong. I'm not using this form. What a guy. What a guy. So remember, we refactored this because this was getting too long, but I forgot to actually use it. So delete drawing form here, give it the drawing ID. Did we bring it in? It happens. All right, 2 remaining. There you go, undo, press, drawing recovered. But then you need to manually tell SvelteKit that it needs to refetch the data. It's not doing the handy things that we're used to. And I don't like how the undo button works. That's by the by. Must be something I can set somewhere with Svelte Sonar. Svelte Sonar. The action button is here. And it's like the background is primary, it claims. But that's not. Is it our primary color? Surely not. Anyway, we'll figure it out. Like the design stuff, I know people don't like me when I do too much on it. The main thing to do is, one of the reasons to just use form is that SvelteKit will do things for you, like reload the page, reload the data on the page without you manually having to do anything. Now that we use command, we need to tell SvelteKit that it needs to refetch this after we've successfully recovered the drawing. And I guess it will have like an invalidate thing. Let's see. Invalidate. To update, blah blah. We need to tell SvelteKit to do this. Oh, we can refresh this. So we need to bring this in, right? So it's gonna be remote functions all the way down. Because in our drawings remote here, I'm gonna say after this happens, we need to re-get all drawings by user actually. So this you need to refresh. So inside the same method, so the UI doesn't need to know anything further, it will automatically do it. So that's nice. Let's see, will it just work? Plonk. Yeah, beautiful. Nice. Having the results appear with like a nice transition and crossfade is kind of easy to do with SvelteKit as well. So that may be neat to do at some point, but not now. Right, so do I understand this? We're using the command SvelteKit Remote Function, which unlike having a form on, because we're in a situation where we don't really want to have a form on the page, we want to keep our toast notification stuff simple. We don't want to make the undo button always be wrapped inside a page here, inside the form here. So for that reason, we just created this command remote function that we can await, and then it will do whatever we're saying there. But in order to trigger things that form does for us automatically, like refetching the data for the page, we need to say, all right, if you've called this method anywhere, you need to refresh it. You need to fetch it again. And indeed, that happens. Cool. So we have a glimpse at the UI as well, at the empty state UI. I think it looks quite neat. But this also means that maybe we do need a dialog here, because if the user, well, if they don't have JavaScript enabled, then they click and it's gone forever, which is a bit harsh. If the JavaScript glitches for whatever reason, then it may delete it without the toast notification appearing. Maybe they won't notice the toast notification. Maybe the toast will disappear before they go there and hover to press the button. So we should probably have a pop-up dialog for this to show up to confirm the deletion. And Mikey says, refresh is like invalidate this route. Yeah, it's pretty much like invalidating routes. It's just invalidating this other SvelteKit remote function. It's saying wherever you've called this, it's been invalidated. You need to fetch it again. And that's cool, actually. Maybe cooler than the other one, because there are other places in other things, other fetched in this page that do not need to be refreshed whenever I delete a drawing. So this is an easier way to say, all right, I just need to invalidate this. I do not need to invalidate all, which you can do with the invalidate method in SvelteKit as well. So we're talking about this. You can specifically say, just invalidate this specific URL, SvelteKit form functions, and the enhance by default will invalidate everything, because usually that's what you need and it doesn't hurt that much. It just invalidates everything. But if you want to be granular, you can use invalidate, and it seems that explicitly calling refresh in a SvelteKit CRUD remote function is like explicitly invalidating this specific route. The other thing that I missed, the fourth thing can help you track who can summon undo. If it's soft deleted, so undo form. Well, that's a bit trickier. We could, but yeah, that's a different thing. I was thinking, like, instead of immediately deleting it from here, we could also show a different row, which would be the one that would have a proper undo button, like show a ghost version of this, and then when you refresh, when you visit this page again, it's gonna be removed. But maybe that's better. Like the other way, is that better? Should we show the soft deleted ones here? Nah. we could be showing the soft deleted ones, and then when they refresh. But nah, forget about it. We do need the dialog though, which we will add. What else do we want to do? Now that we have all these records, we want to actually clean them up forever. Great. So yeah, we're almost done. Pop dialog. So this one, let's design something. Oh, it's had seen down. It happens sometimes. But I think I don't have an alert dialog here. Sometimes at CN Svelte is down. No worries though. I have all the code in the world here. Is it community? We can run SATCN locally. We get it from there. Indeed, it doesn't work. SATCN is indeed down. There you go. We have SATCN at home. And what we want is the alert dialog. This one, classic. It says this cannot be undone, which it can. But it's going to be like this, like, do you want to delete this drawing? Great. Let's just, oh, it's a lot of components. I don't want to manually copy paste them. But maybe, yeah, this should be up. The registry should be up. The registry should be up, he says with confidence. I guess the answer is no. The registry is down, but we can point it to the local registry, which is this one, remember? Maybe not. It's too many HTTPs, mate. Beautiful. Don't overwrite the button. Don't overwrite the button. Great. So there you go. SATCN is down. What do? Run it locally. Pro tip. Let's remove the things I don't like from the template stuff. Let's look at the new things we have here. So we brought in some new UI. We brought in components, UI, alert dialog, this guy. Bring in the button from here. And this, bring in the button from here. And this looks correct. Looks correct. Almost to my liking. We may need like some border action because I'm not putting it everywhere. Maybe I should. So which of these things have borders? Nope. And which of these things have icons? Not much. Okay, so no X to dismiss. Sure, great. Right, so let's create a dialog. So really, our delete drawing form, the form is inside the content of this, I guess. It's inside this action. Whoops. All right, so instead of show dialog, we of course want delete icon. And the variant should be destructive. And when we press it, it opens this up. We don't need to put it inside the icon. So interestingly, will we need a hidden input this time because we cannot put another button here? Or can we? Let's see this action thingy. It's a button. And it's saying okay, so it's put in the form after the description. Instead of a footer, I guess. Is it instead of a footer? So instead of a footer, they're doing this. Right. No footer. No footer. It's the classic case of where the editor tried to help me, but what it actually did is mess with me. This is unfortunate. We did it, right? So there you go. I guess we'll need to style the format ourselves. Maybe we can pass these things here. Doesn't take class. Just take ID and stuff. Okay, kinda works. The form will need a few more classes, which they haven't provided for us, but we'll figure it out. Will it actually delete this record? Yes, good. So it does work as intended. We can cancel out. We just need to style this a bit better. Right, so I guess we want to do the same thing for the button here. And maybe, what does the alert dialog footer have? Just copy these classes. There you go. We have a cancel, we have a delete. Delete doesn't. Delete still submits because I'm not doing the thing. So this should be of type. No, should it be of type button? Maybe yes, maybe not. Unclear. By default, SvelteCN makes buttons and form buttons like submit buttons, but I just want to be, is this inside a form? Then it should be automatically a button. Yeah. So we did it the way SvelteCN wants us to, but I'm not sure if I like it more. So let's have a look at it again. Instead of doing all of that, we can put the form here. And encase everything in an alert dialog, a description, a footer, alert dialog footer. Like before, it will work the same. But now cancel doesn't do anything because it's not inside the form. This one still deletes because it's not inside, it is inside the form. Okay, are you absolutely sure? So this could be getting the drawing, but I guess it's just the Pokemon ID. We could fetch the Pokemon by ID. But yeah, don't worry about it much. Are you absolutely sure this would delete the record of your drawing? Yes. No. Nah. Okay, so I think that's enough. We could have a dedicated page to recover like your latest drawings or whatnot, but maybe that's something for another time. Let me know if you think that's interesting to do. I think now it's safe enough that people won't do it by accident. Yeah, because you see this dialogue, right? You cannot do it by accident, I'm sure. And wow, the delete icon is like so muted. Here. Anyway, it is what it is. Anything else we want to say? This will delete your drawing of Schnom on this date. Like we could specify this, but they know this will delete the record of the drawing. Maybe we should say this. Yeah, maybe we should. So table, drawings table, Pokemon drawing with Pokemon. Let's give it the whole drawing. Why not? Give it the whole drawing. It's fine. wherever we did drawing ID, we actually want to do drawing.id. And this allows us to say are you sure? This will delete the record of your drawing of Snom for that date. Like, we won't come to your house and rip your drawing apart. We'll just delete the record of your drawing. So yeah, I think dialog designed. We could have a page with like the drafts and whatnot. Maybe like a bonus idea for the future. The recently deleted drawings page, but let me know if that's one of the things that you'd like to see. Up to you. What else do we have? Oh, fancy chart. But I think we'll just do the cron. Yeah, we can do the cron job and move on. I think that's gonna be like the last bonus of the day. But we'll do it right after a small break, refreshment break. Be right back. And we're back. Hello, Ricardo. How are you doing? So, recap, what have we done today? We've done a few things, but mostly they can all be under the umbrella of softDelete functionality. So I can say, oh, I drew this. Can submit again. Can press it many times, maybe by accident. And then I can see all my drawings and be like, oh, I have too many. I want to delete some. This will delete this record of me, of Yungas, for that date. Indeed it will, but this is soft deletion. So right on the corner of my screen here, you can see that I have an undo button because we've explained the concept of soft deletion, a cool trick. So I can delete this. Here's the mobile UI, undo the deletion. If you don't undo it, then it just says deleted forever. Great. Interesting. Svelte Sonar type of thing, but seems like it worked. So let's delete this one forever too. I need to press this. Hello Cam in the chat as well. So now we put this live. Let me run my linting sanity. Check. We put this live. People are able to delete records at some point. I don't want to keep them forever. I want to clean them up. So we're going to be creating a cron job that deletes records that are older than half a month. Great. Oh, delay from MSW. That's not what I want to keep. Just have this for demo purposes. Thank God for LinkedIn. So delay here. No floating promises. It says here. Great. Let's also fix that. And that's it. So this one, say delete, undo. Great. And also, with the undo, it seems the form doesn't quite work. Like if you undo and you try to delete again, then it doesn't work. Interesting. I guess because you had the form in the page and then you have it again and it's the same form, form ID, that could be it. Anyway, not a big bug to fix. I think we're good other than that. On these leadings, every test in the word passes. We can have our playwright UI as well around the tests here. The same time as the test run, but doesn't really matter. Let's see what we've done. We do not want this, the local SATCN stuff. Do not commit this. Usually SATCN Svelte is up and working. We've added the alert dialog. We've just shown this. Great, 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 great. Great. We've amended the drawings repo. We've added the softDelete functionality and the recover functionality there. We've implemented the DB drawings repo. And we're using two new SvelteKit remote functions. Another form action to delete the drawing, actually soft-deleted, and a recover drawing command, which we use in the toast notification to undo this. I guess if we wanted to have like a UI where we see the recently deleted ones, and then from there, you can, again, submit the form to undo and recover. Then we'd also have a recover drawing form. Or maybe the recover drawing form will be calling this command internally, so we won't really need to rewrite more code, so that's fine. We've also designed this whole form. Great. And we've made the drawings table have this actions column, has the form in there. If we also have edit, then likely we will just keep the trash icon. People know what the trash icon means. Maybe it doesn't need to be that that extreme. Maybe it can be like this. Maybe it can be like this. And then it's red when you really try to delete it. And maybe we don't need the icon here. No room for fun stuff here. Okay. So this small change is done. Maybe still thinking about this, like span. Maybe this is screen reader only. But on bigger screens, it's not SR only. So if you have the space, then it can look like this. I like that line more. Yeah. Cool. Right. So we commit this feature. Allow users to delete drawings. Great. And now that we've delivered this feature, we can actually post this live immediately. We want the cleanup version. Instead of keeping all the soft deleted drawings forever, we want to actually delete them at some point. So, familiar. I must have been messing with the app when this happened. The accessibility corner in a moment. Perfect. Right, so no more of this. No. Let's do the timestamp. So we can delete the drawings, but in reality, the user is only soft deleting them. We're still keeping them in the database in order for them to be able to undo if they think that if they've pressed it in error. So I don't want these records in the database forever, and we're gonna use a cron job, Cloudflare cron jobs, cron triggers they call them, in order to clean that up. So we already have one cron job, thankfully, so it's going to be easier for us. We won't need UI for this. We have, without the UI, I can increase my screen. We are in a monorepo, as we all know. We have the web app and we have the Cron's worker, which only does a weekly cron where we check the Poke API, Poke data database to see if it had any changes. If it did, then we copy over the whole thing from scratch. Like if new Pokemon just dropped, then we update it. If new sprites, if they've updated anything, we mirror it into our own database to have faster requests and also to take a load of them, because it's such a kind, nice project. Why hit them when we don't need to? Anyway, we have this cron job, and maybe daily, maybe weekly again, we want to add another cron that deletes the drawing records that have been deleted for longer than 28 days. So that's what we want to do, and we could just do it like in the sync Pokemon thing. This is too big for me to read. Actually. We have our database and we're just inserting like this, blah, blah, blah. We're using Drizzle here again. What we want is another route, another handling of the route. The way Cloudflare cron triggers work, you need to export a scheduled method here, and then you can be checking, oh, which schedule am I answering to? Since this one only answers to one schedule, the one that does the Pokemon sync, then we only have one. But because we have more than one now, delete this. Too many windows dropped. Because we have more than one now. We'll need to do something like this. We'll need to say, oh, we have another cron running, and then check in the scheduled controller, is the cron pattern the one that's supposed to run on like Monday? Interestingly, they don't have like an example of this very classic thing that you may want to do. But I remember that somewhere in the request you can see like what the pattern is, and then you can check against it. But yeah, they must have an example somewhere else. I'm surprised that it's not on this page. Oh well. Here. They have an example here? No. Where? So it's getting the cron string here, and this is the thing that you must check to see, like, is it this one? Is it the one that's supposed to run like and clean up your databases? Not the handiest thing. But hey, another fun thing we'll try to do is, will Cloud Code be able to understand this and just do it? Let's see. Let's see if it's going to be able to do it. So there's going to be many things that I'll need to tell it to understand. So we have this cron. All right, clear. We've added blah, blah, blah. We've added softDelete function into our app. We now want a weekly cron job, Cloudflare cron trigger. It deletes all soft deleted records older than 30 days. Read fully quite a few files. So we need the drawing schema. And we want this file as well. And we want whatever. We want this to be drawings. I think those are the, and Wrangler, the Cron's Wrangler. So we already have one pick up a mirror. Let's mention it. What else do we want? have not null deleted that. Anything else it needs to know? I don't think so. I think with this, it should be able to do it. And one of the things Claude is good at, it should be that if you give it a reference, like read this file, read how I've done it before, then it should be able to do a decent enough job. And if there's one thing I hate, it's like writing quite a few files. And now it will need to amend the Cron's index. So this one, it will need to be doing a check on the controller to see, like, oh, if it's matching the Pokémon Cron, the sync Pokémon Cron, then do this. If it's matching the other Cron, then do this. Maybe I should have told it, do a switch case there, but let's see if it's gonna figure it out itself. Create a new file for clean up the deleted drawings. Great. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's gonna be fast. It's doing it in the way that I would. So it's creating the cleanup function. It's updating the cron, the index file to handle multiple ones. Let's see if it's a switch case, and add the thing to Wrangler JSON. Great. And it is a switch case. That's beautiful. Deleted drawings cleanup. Great. I wouldn't have made the default case warn that, oh, this is an unknown cron schedule. So that's kind of nice. It's kind of sweet. Good. It's saying it created this thing. Great. Updated the cron handler and the config. Amazing. I do have things. Oh, it even tells me how to run locally because I've added, like, this is how you can test crons locally myself. But yeah, let's see. So it created this. I don't know why it made it an object. But yeah, seeing how I've done the other crons, it's able to do something cool. So just delete drawings where the deleted at is not null and it's less than 30 days ago. So this, it's been deleted less than 30 days ago. Makes sense. Days ago, milliseconds makes sense as well. And then, oh, it's also returning their IDs just to count, I guess. The ones that they've deleted. Can I do like a select? I think I can just do a count. Serial number. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? Delete it. Maybe that's not a thing. It's not. So deleted count is gonna be results 0 count. Come on, autocomplete. Prove that you're kinda useful sometimes. No. Can you only autocomplete things that are wrong? Will you get it now? Yeah? Good. If it's not one, add an S. All right. So in theory, this will run at some point. It also amended this. Now it has a switch case to only run this when the cron pattern is this. Should I have cron patterns? I guess here it shouldn't. No. Clean up. No. Great. I want to double check this is correct. And now I can more easily use them here. I would call this clean up soft deleted drawings. So I call it delete soft deleted drawings. maybe not. Don't need this, don't need this. Just have this. Soft deleted drawings. Read. Sweet. Also updated Wrangler. I guess these dates are correct. And did the format encuts this? Oops. Put to run format. I suppose. Ooh, for quite a few things. Let's see what tests did we have last time. Did I like this? I'm not sure. I would like a test for this, but I'm not sure which one I'd prefer. This does take the database, which I think is good. This takes the database as well. So we will ask for this. Great. Let's see if it actually works. We should see it here because this is where the server is running. Let's do the curl. Whoops. It could be that it's the returning thing, that's one of the few things that I did that made it not work. Returning. Delete returning. Delete with return. No, you can do it here. Okay, so let's see if it's my fault or we need to debug it, or if it's like this clause that doesn't work. Yeah, we want to do how does count work? Maybe that's the problem. Ah, just count, not count. Okay. Return and count star. Did it work? No. Okay, so can we do deleted IDs is drawings ID? Which was their example. And what it wanted to do. Yeah, I guess it was correct. Human messed it up. It's gonna trigger the schedule time. Is this deleting soft deleted drawings? Calculate this here. Deleted 0 drawings. All right, looks like it's gonna work. We need to wait a month and then we'll have more sanity. Good. Anything else surprising? Let's run our sanity check in the meantime. All right. So let's ask it to write a few meaningful tests, see how well it will do, see if they're actually going to be meaningful or not. Interestingly, it is reading the other tests to get a feel of how to write things. In other tasks, I often tell it, TDD, write the test first, see them fail, and then proceed to try to implement. I think that produces better results. But every time it has a validation gate, every time it has something that tells it, you haven't fixed it unless this passes, and keep trying, it does perform better. Because LLMs love telling you, oh, this fixed things. ChatGPT is horrible for this. Very often you'll ask it something and it will be like, yeah, I've checked your computer and like you literally cannot do this. I've confirmed this is correct. I gave you a proper solution. No, you didn't. Gaslit by ChatGPT, the 80s we live in. But yeah, nothing too crazy, I suppose, here. Just some SQL, which is already easy enough when you're using an ORM like Drizzle or anything. But I just don't like writing files. And for once, it did do this correctly. Well, what I tried to do, the count, didn't quite work. I guess you don't want to count the rows. You want to count the results. Oof, it's going crazy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I guess I told it to run a meaningful test. That was out of pocket. If you can do things on the browser, do them, I would say. You know, do the real thing. And if we weren't using Cloudflare D1, if we were using Turso, for example, then yeah, locally I do run an SQLite database, which I'm very happy to just run on the tests and just test there, and that's it. But here where we are using Cloudflare D1, and the adapter for Drizzle is very different to the one that it uses when it's connecting to Turso or any other SQLite database. I won't test the real thing. There's something weird there. What I was trying to do. I've PM'd myself. It looks like they pass. So what did it write? It is mocking the database. It's fair enough. I guess it's trying to add like a few records. Yeah, I don't like mocking like this. I would rather have a regular database, but hey. It's creating a mock database, I suppose. We could make an in-memory database here. I will ask it. Yeah, can you not create an in-memory database? I guess it'd be the same. Let's see, maybe it's too crazy. Will it get it? I know that if you were to tell me this, I would get it. And it's one of the reasons that I like my poor man's dependency injection, that instead of the database drawings repo, you can pass in an in-memory drawings repo. But we are in the cron where I don't have this dependency injection thing, because the crons with Wrangler don't have that thing where you inject in the locals stuff. It's one of the things that I really love about the SvelteKit. If this were SvelteKit, I would be able to say, all right, for this test, use the in-memory Drizzle database, the in-memory database instead of the Drizzle one, and that'd be fine. So, did it do it? Yeah, we'll just use a delete. Great. I would have done a class instead of doing this. Which I guess is kind of the same. I think it will look a bit better. A bit more, just a bit cuter. No UI for these tasks, unfortunately. We're almost done. How long did this take us? Should we do this art? Probably not. But something for another time. Definitely not this, definitely not this, definitely not this. This will do. If you tell me it's how to do the chart, I will do it. Or else get deleted. Good. So what did it do? Memory DB, drawings, constructor, gets these, delete. Great. Ugh. It almost did it well. I don't need to see the insert there. That's cleaner. More object-oriented and idiomatic TypeScript. Will take a while. But yes, a sneak peek of the chart. I was thinking, Passat is down, so I need to go to my local version to show it. I was thinking that we could have a graph of the Pokemon you've drawn. Maybe you could have them be by generation as well. What color are we doing? Red, I think. Those. So we could have like something like this, like you've drawn, you know, 5 out of 1025 Pokemon. I have a little graph there, that'd be fun to show. But it is using D3, which we have shown before, but it's been a while, and layer chart, which uses D3 behind the scenes, which we haven't used before. So maybe it's an episode by itself. That's one thing that I'd be interested in showing next. Another one would be building a Pokemon MCP server that you can ask information about Pokemon in natural language. Other ideas, always let me know in the chat, in the comments, in the Discord, what you'd like to see next. Always up to receive your ideas. I'd also love to do more game dev. This will be happening soon, but I've definitely been like TypeScript build, web app build for a while. Cloud Opus limit reached. Interesting. Why was I in Opus? Is that why it was not doing that well today? I thought since they introduced Sonnet 4.5, that's the outperforms Opus. Did they release like a version of Opus as well? Maybe. I should read the blog. All right, sweet. So let's see, what does the test look like? We have this in MemoryDB, which can be in its own place. I could have a drawings repo here as well, but hey. It constructs stuff, has a delete operation, and does the get all. Great. It returns all the drawings, or you could do just a get count, I suppose, but that's fine. And it's saying, right, these are my drawings, they're 40 days ago, so they should both be cleaned up. Great. Does not delete the ones that are less than 30 days ago, only deletes the ones that are soft deleted. Great. Handles edge case 30 days in 1 second. Who cares? No one cares about this. Roughly corrects. Mixed delete same states, 40 days to 20 days. Great. Farangla, always sweet in the chat. Always interested to see how a good developer handles tasks. Many thanks for sharing. Thank you so much. Very flattering. Right. So return 0 count when no drawings exist. No, that's a test for the MemoryDB. It handles large batch deletions. Layered chart. I vote for layered chart. Yeah, I think it may deserve a proper stream where we can do some cool stuff with it and not just, you know, here it's like 15 minutes, just put the graph in there and that's it. Gives me more time to actually draw a few Pokemon as well and have more stuff to do there. You could do like how many drawings you have total. You can do this. You've done this out of this many Pokemon as well. But there is so many interesting charts, so I'd like to find use cases where we can use some of the more complicated ones. Okay, so it tried to test like the new class it created a few times, but it's fine. Good enough. I think we can commit this. Let's run the curl the cron again. Seems like it runs. Good. Cloudflare workers will deploy this. Great. So this will run, work perfectly. That kind of closes the main things for today. The other thing that I wanted to quickly talk about, so not this today, another day. Just a quick one. This could be another episode in itself. You may have noticed I've removed Storybook from this project. I was trying to update some library versions, and then on a later version of Node, Storybook wasn't quite running. And then I was like, why am I doing all of this? It is much better than it used to be. You do only have to handle the one config. But why maintain this? Why maintain the docs? I do prefer designing right in the app itself instead of switching to Storybook. I don't have a component library. I still think Storybook is great if you have a component library, but I think most people soon have a component library. So how do I handle the edge cases? You remember we had like a bespoke route or a Storybook, I suppose, that was showing all the Pokemon badges. And instead of just going here and just re-rolling Pokemon in order to see all the badges that exist, like, wouldn't it be cool to have just one page that shows them all, and that's where Storybook comes in, and you can see all the Pokemon type badges in one page. That's handy. But instead of maintaining a whole Storybook setup just for this, why can't you have like a Pokemon types route? And maybe that will also help like the SEO of your app. Not sure. It doesn't need to be a public facing one. You don't need to be able to get to it from anywhere on your site. It could be just for yourself. But you can more easily create this page to show all the Pokemon types here than it is to set up Storybook from scratch, for sure. I think it's easier than even if you've set it up to maintain it. It's just easier to just have the page that you want to test here. Similarly, we had the generations one. Again, this loses the docs functionality. We don't have a documentation, but no one else is going to be using this. It's going to be me. Like, if other engineers wanted to like get into this repo and add stuff, they would be able to use these pages too. They don't explicitly need instructions to say, oh, if you give like if you do not give a Roman numeral, then this happens or this doesn't happen. You can just go here, toggle light and dark mode, and that's it. Move on with your life without maintaining anything else. But another cool feature that Storybook had was those accessibility violations that it was showing according to the state that your component was in as well, which was really, really cool. But behind the scenes, it was still using the Axe linter, which is a known tool that you can use with Playwright. And that's what I've started doing as well. So I am still, I guess, missing Storybook is good if you want to easily test without messing with mock service worker. What happens if I press delete here and then the server fails and you see the error state? You can more easily get into that state with Storybook. while here you need to put in more work to make that happen. But again, when you're using Storybook with SvelteKit, you will need to put in the effort in the Storybook to actually mock the page store or whatever, like the remote functions, which aren't quite supported there. You have to just mock them. So I don't know, not sure about that, but the accessibility win of Storybook was really big. So what I've done is I've decided now that much like I have the navigation smoke test, I can have an accessibility test which tests all the user-facing routes. That's essential. They go into the homepage and they check, is this good? I've caught especially contrast violations with that one quite often. And you can make it go into your hidden pages that are just for your own UI testing stuff, like the types route that I've shown. I don't know why I didn't get screenshots for this one. There you go. So if you're like, all right, I'm designing these pages, but are they readable? Then you can just have it go there. You can set up things in order for Playwright to be in light mode when you check if you really want to. If you want to check specific states, then you can have Playwright like click a few buttons. I was making another app and I've made sure to have the accelerator run before you've uploaded files and after you've uploaded some files because the UI is quite different. So there you go. If you want to have a look at how it looks, because maybe similarly to Storybook is like, oh, I don't want to set up yet another thing to write with Playwright. Maybe it's going to be hard, but it's not. All you need is to bring in the AxeCore library for Playwright, and then just have Playwright go to a route like always. I wait for the app to get hydrated. That's just a thing I do in every SvelteKit app and React app and everything. Every JavaScript app, I guess, everything that's not statically rendered. Just wait for the page to be properly interactive so I don't have any weird flashes. And then all you need is to give the Axe Builder that this package provides, give it the page that you can see, and then does its magic, takes a screenshot, I suppose, and runs it through its filters, takes the DOM and checks like what type of properties you have into which elements, and then will give you the warnings. The problem with this is that you get like a violations array that's a bit hard to read, while in Storybook you can click and say, oh, this is the violation and this is the element. So for example, if I go to the app CSS, you may have noticed that this button is a bit more red, because one of the problems was, all right, the primary color button is not visible enough, not contrasty enough. So if I were to run like most pages here for accessibility, most pages do have the primary button. So it would fail, and you'll see that we have that you need to insert the contrast, and then one object that has this background color and this font size and this font color is not quite visible, doesn't have enough contrast. And you aren't able to just click a button and see, oh, it's this button that has the violation. You need to kind of figure it out yourself. But there must be a way to do this in a nicer way. But for me, I just kind of figured it out based on what it's telling me here. But that part is better in Storybook. But a win for the OKLC8 way to define colors as well. Because if you're doing even HSL and you just change the lightness to have it have more contrast, then as far as our eyes can perceive it, then the color would be quite different than what you wanted. While with this, you can kind of tell that we're moving through the spectrum of these rows, like the reddish hue. So a bit better on that. So in this case, if your problem is not enough contrast and you are using OKLC8 like modern Tailwind or like any modern developer would do, just go mess with the lightness value. So it's lightness chroma hue. Just mess with the lightness value, make it darker or lighter as needed. And it's gonna look close enough to the designs. Hello, brother. How are you doing today? I didn't use a barbell today, although I did lift. Thankfully, I did the glamour stuff. Right, so this goes back, you can run it again. It's like, good. And unlike Storybook with the Playwright, as I've set things up before, it is easier to just run this accessibility spec with every browser that you have configured. So it's easier to run this on like mobile Safari and stuff. So pretty fast, pretty good. No need to set up anything more other. Bring in this library and have these extra specs. I think that's cool. I think that's a good way to go about it. So I'm sorry, Storybook. I'm sorry, book. But I don't know. Like I'd say strictly for component library projects, and I'd only do a component library if I'm open sourcing one, which is unlikely if I'm correct. Yeah, I guess I sometimes, I guess I don't take contracts or roles where it's like, you need to build our component library, because I just don't think there is value there. All right, so what happened? Cloudflare down? Everything's down? Is that why Svelte is down? Because Cloudflare is down? Whoops. But we'll check that later. Any other sites that are up? This is still up. So maybe we committed like something crazy here. Maybe this YOLO committed code did something crazy. We'll need to debug it later, but that's fine. Right, so last part. We didn't do this. Fancy data table another time. Oh, cool idea for Anglo. If you're building a sitemap, the routes can be reused for accessibility testing with Playwright. Yeah, I guess I was thinking about sitemaps because would I want the sitemap to have the pages that I don't mean for the users to actually get to? Do I want the bots to get to there? Will that affect my traffic? Do I put like invisible keywords there? I don't know. Not sure. But I didn't think about this approach where you create a sitemap and then instead of manually going and writing the test like I have, go to this route, go to this route, go to this route, I have the sitemap and then I just say go through it and visit its route and confirm you don't, there are no accessibility violations. So that's actually quite genius. So let's write it here. To do. I guess I lose the, is it a user-facing route or is it like a hidden route? But there must be. I think SvelteKit has something for this because SvelteKit can for sure know this. There must be something like in the App Store or whatever, because all your routes are just whatever is in your routes directory. So they must have a way to do this, maybe even in the docs they have something there. Something related. Sitemap. Kinda remember seeing this. You can create a sitemap dynamically. Great. It says URL elements go here. I remember this, and I was hoping that here they would be like, oh, just bring in like the URL, and it will give you URL.routes will give you every route of the website, every ID. There must be a way to do it, but I thought it would just be here. Anyway, that's by the by. And oh, we're almost there. So some of you may know that I'm part of the MinMax community, which is a gaming podcast, and friends. But now I'm stuck in my head of what it is. Friends and get a bit better. Be good, have fun. Let's go. Games, friends, and getting better. Is that the motto? Anyway, gaming podcast. But they were asking for a way where they're like, I'm out of my nonlinear editor like Premiere or DaVinci or whatever they're using, and I have the markers in the editor and I know when each chapter begins, but I need an easy way to convert this into timestamps, and sometimes we have ad segments that we want to remove for the Patreon version of the YouTube upload, because those do not have these segments, so the timestamps don't quite work. So it's a bit of a hassle to create the timestamps, as I know full well, because I have to do it every time, even though when I mark them down in usually my Notion document, I still need to take the effort to actually convert them to timestamps, watch the stream back and see, do they actually overlap with what I've said? And the extra thing, if it's an ad break, it gets cut into a different version, and they don't want to manually do the math and say, oh, now that it's edited out, then, you know, I need to have a different timestamp. And that's a perfect case for an algorithm to do this for you correctly every time. So I've created this. No link in the description, I guess I forgot to put one. But if you go there, you can just have this drag and drop UI, or just select the file from wherever. And these are the test ones that I've created. You drop it here, and here you go. You have like the YouTube timestamps where you can just paste them in your video description, and you're golden. And you have the edited out ones where you can also paste them in your Patreon description, and you're golden. It will auto detect if something is an ad break or an ad. If it misflags something, so if I hadn't accounted for, does it say ad end, then you can toggle it back on and off. And you can edit what the actual thing is, and it will update it here live. Kind of cool. And those work with Google Sheets exports as well. This you can just drag and drop, you can select files. Let's see if it actually works with the thing we've done today. And if that's the case, then right after the stream ends, then I'm gonna be uploading the timestamps. Let's see, will it work? Did. Perfect. I don't know how well you can see it on the stream as well, but we have the kind of cute Svelte transition when this appears. Yeah, no ads here, never ads, never sponsor content here, but you can see that it kind of works. No, it properly works. I guess for the timestamps, I don't want my handy links. Must have this link in the description after all. So yeah, let's say that the demo is gonna be, let me check, OBS. So 2 app demos today. A random SvelteKit app just dropped. I don't know if any of you are doing timestamp editing stuff or whatnot, but if you are, then you have this app to help you do that. And I'll be using it as well. 1 app demo. Second app demo, it's the DrawMon app, the main one. So as we know, we can still, if I manage to hit the correct buttons, that was a cute one. I can say, oh, I drew this, and I drew this. And I can see the drawings like before, like we left it on last week. But now what we've done is the delete functionality. We have an alert popping up. Are you sure you want to delete this? But even then, if you're not quite sure, you can undo the deletion and then it reappears. And we've also set up a cron. So after a month of them being soft deleted, they will actually be deleted and not take up any space on our database. And that's it. And that's it. So, quick demo. Let me know if you have any final questions, and let me know in the comments or Discord what you'd like to see next. As mentioned before, a calendar component as well to edit the date that you've drawn the Pokemon. A fuzzy search functionality. You can open up the command palette and then you can go to a particular Pokemon and say that you drew it. As it stands, you need to reroll forever. So if you've manually said, oh, I want to draw this, I actually sat down and drew Pikachu today, you'd need to reroll until you get the Pikachu and actually select it. That's not as fun. So we could do something like this functionality, command bar, command palette functionality with fuzzy search, where we'd be able to search for like Pikachu, no results in the SvelteKit docs, and actually go to the Pikachu page and track that we've drawn for the day. A calendar component could be cool, but also stats. So if you do go to the drawings page, we could have a dashboard of cool charts here of how many you've drawn, and geographic chart. I'll need to have a look to see which one that is. It's your special one. But yeah, we'll be using D3, which does everything. I've definitely seen charts like that in D3, but also layer chart, and I'm not sure if they have it available. I do remember that they had an oscillator one that made by Computer Crash. So do not press the oscilloscope one, but maybe they have these ones. Ooh, fancy. This is where it all started, and this is where I am. Doxed. Okay. So I think this is going to be it for today. It's been a pleasure, lots of fun stuff. We ended up using both the form remote function as planned, but also the command remote function, which I didn't really plan to use today. That was quite fun. I hope you had fun too. And regardless, thank you so much for spending a bit of your time with me. If you coded along, if not, if you were participating in chat, special thanks as always for keeping me extra company. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Have a lovely, lovely Sunday.